thank you again for coming to our lecture series. Before we start, just some quick housekeeping. Remember, when we sign the attendance list this comes around, please sign it and pass it on. Don't keep it. Last time people didn't pass it on. So remember, when you get this, sign your name and pass it on. Secondly, as you know, after the sessions that we have here, we have seminar groups. So your teacher, after the session, will select people from amongst the group, 3 or 4 of you, to lead the seminar on Friday. So remember to take effective notes. Your teacher will appoint somebody after the seminar. Anyway, here we've got our great thanks to SHSS, the cooperation that we've had over this year. We've got 2 more professors from SHSS to lecture us or to give us some input into data. We're very pleased that they're able to come and work with us today, particularly as we're doing data and data integration in our classes. And so we hope that the lecture that Professor Witzel and Professor Yoshihara will give to us. I know that you've probably seen the bio of Chris Witzel on Moodle, so you're aware that Chris has considerable background in the Central Asia before coming here. You're aware he's familiar with some of the issues that you guys are having with studying. And he has an interest in sociology. So if you guys think you're doing sociology, anybody think you're doing sociology next year?
Welcome.
So if you're particularly into sociology, this is a chance to talk to somebody from SHSS and to get an understanding of what you will be doing next year with the rooms. And Professor Yoshibashi has a background in economics and international relations.
Oh, international relations.
I noticed that, for example, on your CV that you're interested in data with regard to sanctions. So, that's an area that I think will be interesting to our people. So without further ado, thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll let you get on with it, and good luck with the session.
So, as we were presented with thinking about how to look critically at statistics and use of statistics, and also how would you kind of compare what you would do with quantitative approaches to social science work and also qualitative approaches, we thought that it would be best demonstrated by kind of working through a project together. So one of the things that we'll do is we have a basic research question that we're looking at. And our basic research question that we'll investigate for today is, does where you sit in class affect your grade? So imagine if you were to try and measure this. What data would you gather? How would you measure it? And what factors do you think would be involved in this? And we could approach this quantitatively or qualitatively. So the first type of example we'll work through is looking at how you would do this in kind of a quantitative way. And Dr. Kobayashi will work with that. Both Dr. Kobayashi and I teach the quantitative methods class. I also teach a qualitative methods class. So that's our background where we're coming. And I'll present also kind of a qualitative approach along with this. But we'll kind of work through this together as we present it. So how would you think of measuring it, or how have you measured this type of thing?
So, as everybody knows, probably statistics really makes use of data. And what is data? Data is something we observe. So I could start asking you guys, what's your grade in this course, and you can tell me what it is, and I can record it. And I know where you're sitting, so I can record where you're sitting, and I can start doing that for everybody, right? And then I get the data, but you might want to know what it looks like and where I got the data from. And this is what the data look like, first of all. So I got data on 30 students from a university in the US. The class was an introductory biology class. The university, I don't even remember, it was some like Midwest university that I never even heard of, but the professor was interested in investigating this, this question, and he collected this data. The first row, so basically each row corresponds to a case, what we call case. And the first case, of course, is about the student Ashley. Ashley had a grade 3.40, and she was sitting in front, and that's how you read this data, and very easy, right? And the second case is about this student Chris, and so on. I have 30 rows, and with that, I can start asking the question. This was a very straightforward data set. When we start asking more complex questions, it looks pretty weird. So
What would you end up doing with this? How would you first kind of approach this? So we have these two types of things. What would you do with this quantitative data?
the first I do is, in the modern days, you don't just like write this out and start calculating things. You usually use computers. We use statistical softwares to analyze this kind of data. Luckily, we only have 30 students, so it's pretty small data. Sometimes I deal with data set that has like 1 million data points, meaning 1 million rows. And you can't do that with hand, right? So I usually use computer softwares. If you take my class in quantitative methods, you will learn how to program in computer languages and how to navigate through statistical models and statistical techniques. In this particular case, what I used was a computer software called Stata.